Hey Super Paper Mario fans, has this ever happened to you? Ever just enter a new room and this happens? This is the second most notorious game crash in Super Paper Mario. The first is actually a bug in Chapter 2-2 specific to PAL Revision 0 copies of the game, and it was officially acknowledged by Nintendo back when the game was released back in 2007, where affected players had the option to get a free replacement Revision 1 disc. But that is not the topic of this video. Today, I want to convince you that what I just called the second most notorious game crash in SPM should actually be the first, because it has killed many speedruns, including ones on world record pace. But it doesn't just affect speedrunners. It can happen to you, almost anywhere, at any time, randomly. This is what the community has referred to as a VC crash, or more specifically, a JP VC crash. Although this crash is rare, and it is possible on other versions of the game, it happens the most often on the Japanese Wii U Virtual Console release, which so happens to be the fastest version for speedrunning the game. Do you see the problem here? For nearly 10 years, speedrunners who want to crack at a top time have had to play on this version of the game, knowing full well that the game had a small chance to crash anytime you entered a new room, which would kill the run. This even happened to me very recently during my first round of the annual Pit Percent tournament, which, in all honesty, is my fault. More on that later. For over 10 years, there was a vague understanding of why these crashes happened, yet the definitive cause remained unknown. That is, until this year. By January 2026, SPM glitch hunter John P55 had been looking into the causes of VC crashes for a while, and had finally found out what exactly caused them, and how they could be prevented. So, what exactly causes these crashes? Why were they more common on JP Wii U Virtual Console? And ultimately, when the cause was found, and a mod to patch the bug was made, what did the speedrun community do about it? But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Artwood. Artwood is a fun website where art hobbyists can learn how to draw and improve their art skills without any pressure. The lessons are organized via a skill tree, starting with beginner courses at the top before you get to the more advanced tiers at the bottom. Your progression through a course is tracked via a roadmap and XP that you earn from completing lessons. I love the feedback you get from lessons, as well as the feedback video you get when comparing your answer with the solution provided by Artwood. And if you're an artist looking for feedback on your latest piece or need some direction, there's the Artwood feedback tool, a place where artists can upload the works in progress they're struggling with and get structured feedback in one place. Currently, Artwood is running a huge discount on their yearly plans. So to get started, use my link in the description below to get a 30% discount on their premium plan. Make sure you check out the link, as this deal will not last for long. When entering a new room in Super Paper Mario and gaining control of your character, the game will preload files for all adjacent rooms, which include enemies, objects, textures, etc. These files are all loaded from the game disk. During this process, a function DVD read async prio runs, which sends the file request to the disk drive. After which, some parameters are set, including a struct known as DVD entry, and then a callback function runs after a file is read from the disk. DVD entry stores the context of the file request so that it can be read in multiple parts, including parameters such as length remaining, which shows how much of the file is left to be loaded. It's actually quite useless though, since the game loads each file all at once rather than in parts. If anything, it just made the game more unstable, especially in the case of an interrupt. An interrupt is when the CPU is forced to stop what it's doing, save its state, and run an interrupt service routine before resuming its saved state. These interrupts can occur at any time, and it's especially problematic when one of these interrupts happens after DVD read async prio is called, but before the DVD entry parameters are set. Even when parameters such as length remaining are not set properly due to an interrupt, the disk read still finishes. This means that the callback function runs, and since the length remaining variable wasn't cleared properly, it assumes that the disk needs to be read again because the incorrect length remaining variable indicates that it still needs to load the entire file. The end result of this second disk read leads to two separate threads of the CPU trying to set the same parameters, which leads to the game crashing. This crash is possible on every Japanese version of the game, and revisions 0 and 1 of the North American release. The PAL and US revision 2 releases patched this bug. As we can see here in these versions of the game, the callback function has been modified so it no longer needs to verify the length remaining parameter of DVD entry, which in turn prevents a second disk read and the risk of a crash. Because the PAL and US releases on Wii U Virtual Console use these versions of the game, they don't crash like this, while the Japanese Wii U Virtual Console version still does. But wait! If the bug is all related to the disk drive, why is the crash so much more common on Japanese Wii U VC when it's a digital version, not a physical disk? But that's exactly the problem. The digital game has faster loads, since it doesn't need to be read from a disk drive, which not only makes speedruns of this version faster, but also loads the files so fast that it makes the DVD thread interrupt all the more dangerous, since it takes less time for the conditions for the game crash to be met. After John identified the cause and ran some experiments, on February 8, 2026, he revealed his findings to the community, and released an early version of a mod that would fully patch out these crashes. This was a game changer. Finally, after all these years, runners could safely play the fastest version of the game without the risk of a random crash looming over them. But before the community could celebrate, a difficult topic had to be addressed. This was a mod, and if you know anything about speedrunning, it's generally encouraged to do runs on official vanilla releases of games. Allowing a mod of any kind is inherently divisive, especially within months of a cheating scandal where mods were allegedly used to gain an advantage. Even though this mod served exclusively as a means to patch the crashing bug, some were worried that someone could load other mods undetected. John, also a moderator for the speedrun leaderboards, then opened up a poll for the community to vote on, as well as explain the reasons for whether it should be allowed or not. Safe to say, despite some initial concerns, the community at large was enthusiastic to allow the crash fix for the leaderboard. On March 19, 2026, John would release the crash fix for JP Wii U Virtual Console, and it was officially allowed on the leaderboards. So how does it work, and how were concerns of loading other mods addressed? Well, setting it up is pretty easy. After downloading the patch from the GitHub page, you extract the zip file, drop the private folder into the root of your SD card, load up the virtual Wii menu on the Wii U, and transfer the Super Paper Mario save from the SD card directly to your system memory. Afterwards, you open up the save file REL loader, open the item menu, and the game will restart with the crash fix, indicated by text shown on the title screen that must be shown in the proof video when submitting the runs on the leaderboard. It's that easy. So why the hell didn't I do this before I VC crashed during a tournament race? Well, I don't know how to put this. I was just kinda lazy, and I didn't VC crash before, so I took the risk and paid the price. Now I feel foolish. So don't be like me, guys. Special thanks to John P55 for his contributions to the Super Paper Mario community, especially releasing this crash fix. Links to the download and a description of how it works in detail are linked below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to shoot for the